Fire Chief of Orange County, James M. Fitzgerald.
Good morning and welcome all of you here to Fire Station 63. As Carrie mentioned, I'm Jim Fitzgerald, the Orange County Fire Chief, and I'm pleased to be here this morning with a number of other special guests. And I'd like to call out County Administrator Byron Brooks, our Public Safety Director Danny Banks, our Chief of Corrections Chief Quinones, the crew of Station 63, Master Correctional Officer Giovanni Hernandez, and Officer Hernandez's family, his wife Melissa, and most importantly, Jonah, a future Orange County firefighter. A bit of background: in June, my office received a nomination of award from Lieutenant Jason McNally, who's here with us today. The nomination started with, and I quote, "Yesterday I witnessed some true heroism," and from there it went on to explain that Station 63 had received a call regarding an apartment fire on June 2nd. Upon arrival, the firefighters realized that a citizen had not only gone into the fire on their own, but pulled a patient to safety, handing him off to the crews on scene. This was a citizen without any protective gear who entered an apartment filled with thick black smoke. He found a patient that was down and showed obvious signs of being overcome by smoke. While the patient was conscious, he was having difficulty breathing. We later learned that the patient had experienced a medical emergency a few weeks prior and would not have been able to escape on their own. Turns out that citizen who lived in the complex had also been in the fire service a number of years ago and is also an Orange County Corrections officer by the name of Giovanni Hernandez. In the lieutenant's own words, this was a dangerous situation, and I truly believe that Officer Hernandez had not risked his own life and helped to make this save, the incident would have resulted in a full-blown apartment fire with severe injury. Officer Hernandez, we were so impressed by your actions that we felt it necessary to make this surprise presentation of award to you today in front of the very crew who brought your actions forward. Chief Q, when we brought this to your attention, you were not surprised to hear about the heroic deeds of Officer Hernandez, and I'd like to call you to the podium for some remarks as well.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you. What an honor it is to be here today. First, let me say, as the Chief of Corrections, I'm very proud of Master Correctional Officer Giovanni Hernandez for his heroic actions. He is part of our training team, and his actions were that of a good training lesson plan put together to provide immediate assistance. When the fire erupted in the apartment below him, he learned the victim was trapped. There was absolutely zero hesitation. He immediately stepped in to rescue the victim. He is good at split decision making, and the best course of action, what needs to be done, is exactly what he did on June the 3rd. And guess what? He went to work the following day without even being checked out at the ER. He came to work, told the supervisor what had transpired, but only so that they didn't hear it from another agency. Meanwhile, he downplayed his role in the event. It wasn't until the next evening after his shift, where he was still experiencing some slight pain and discomfort, that he went to the emergency room. At that time is when he went to get checked out, but his actions first were to deal with the individual that needed the assistance. And on June 7th, he continued, where he was able to provide assistance to a fellow officer who was injured at the gun range. That is true heroism and shows what public safety is all about. Again, we are so proud of Officer Hernandez for his life-saving actions, and we are equally proud of the service that he has provided for Orange County Corrections in his last 11 years, and will continue and retire there and not go to the fire department. At this time, it is an honor to call Danny Banks, the Deputy County Administrative Public Safety Director, to say a few words.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everybody. It's a special opportunity for me to stand with you today. I'm really proud. We've got the two greatest public safety organizations in Orange County represented here today. And about half of them are fixing to leave this room. Really two of the greatest public safety organizations in Orange County represented here today. And you know, public safety is a true calling. It doesn't matter what the badge on your shirt or on your belt says. What matters is that you are called to bring safety to our public and our citizens. And that's exactly what Officer Hernandez did on this particular occasion. He knew that someone in front of him needed him, and it wasn't confined just to the confines of the jail. It was anywhere in the community. He acted. That's what a true public servant does. So I thank you for the opportunity for all of you to join us, to be here to recognize him. I think our fire chief has a special presentation for Officer Hernandez, but I'd like to bring to the podium now our county administrator, Mr. Byron Brooks.
Thank you, Mr. Banks. On behalf of Mayor Demings and all of our county commissioners, I want to extend our thanks and appreciation to you, Officer Hernandez, for your heroism and for always remembering that public service does not stop when you go home. That certainly reflects the true character and the nature of public safety and public service, and you certainly exhibit that by your actions, particularly by the actions that day of helping your neighbors, helping our community. It's because of outstanding folks like Officer Hernandez, our community is safer, our community is stronger, and we appreciate you always representing the best of Orange County government and the best of this organization. Thank you so much for your service, for your heroism, and again, we are so proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Chief Fitzgerald, now.
For me, what really makes this special is that this act of heroism was brought to my attention by firefighters. Officer Hernandez's actions so impressed the firefighters that they brought it to my attention so we could be here today. The Distinguished Service Award is one of the highest levels of commendation presented by the Orange County Fire Rescue Department. Typically, this is a commendation presented to firefighters. It is presented for highly commendable accomplishments under adverse conditions with a moderate to major degree of risk where injury or death to another is prevented. And so it is my pleasure, Master Correctional Officer Giovanni Hernandez, to present you with the Orange County Fire Rescue Distinguished Service Award. This award also comes with an appropriate ribbon, which I'm sure Chief Q will allow you to add to your dress uniform.
Thank you.
And if we could perhaps gather for a picture. Let's just get in front of the podium.
myself to a standard that I think at the end of the day, when I lay down at the end and put my head on the pillow, I can be proud. And hopefully when he grows up and he looks up at me, that I did something right. So other than that, thank you very much. I appreciate the acknowledgement. Sometimes we don't get it enough in the kind of work that we do. And just thank you. I really do appreciate it. I remember you. I'm sorry.
Take a couple questions.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
A couple of quick questions I'm sure some of my colleagues are having. Sir, could you kind of walk us through the day that you made this rescue? What was that?